All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's team call. I cannot even believe it, but it is June 1st, which is crazy, but awesome. I'm so excited because this month, the 21-Day Fix and the Fix Extreme are both on sale, and those are super amazing programs. Quite frankly, they're probably the best programs for people to start with, especially people who are beginners, but the workouts are amazing, and there's a great variety. They're only a half an hour, and the meal plans are what is the key to everything. I did post those two videos in our team page today from Chelsea Pearson. She was in the test group for the 21-Day Fix, and she had a lot of good points to say about both the programs and how beneficial they are for people, and kind of some strategies on how to talk to people about it and all that stuff. So if you haven't watched those yet, I highly recommend it. I think it probably ended up being like a total of 40 to 45 minutes with the two videos together. But hi, Lauren. But definitely worth watching. Those videos were amazing, and she totally nailed it. Hang on, why can't? Oh, there we go. All right, so that being said, I'll kind of like roll quickly into our plan for the team-wide Fix group starting the 13th. Definitely want to start promoting that as soon as possible, because that is in like a week and a half. So we want to give people enough time to purchase the programs and get them in the mail so that they can get started. I know some people already have the programs or may want to get started. So it might not be a bad idea to kind of open a group and do a little like mini prep week or something like that, or just to allow people to kind of get started. Or we can always wait and support those people, more one-on-one throughout next week. So, towards the end of this, I'm happy to open that up and see what you guys suggest for that. But I think it's a great idea to start on the 13th, because that leads the 3 weeks ends for July 4th, which is like perfect timing. And keep in mind, too, to let people know that there's the 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's that is unique for the 21-Day Fix, because they can literally complete the whole program, and if they're not satisfied with their results, they can return it for a full refund. Not that we want to be, telling people to do that, but it is good to know that, because some people are really skeptical. They don't think things are going to work. So I think that's definitely worth bringing up again and reminding you guys that is an offer that Beachbody has, because they believe in everything so much. So definitely worth saying if you feel like someone's a little bit on the fence and they're not entirely sure, definitely worth mentioning that. And Chelsea had like so many great points, so I highly recommend listening to those two videos. I won't kind of repeat too much of it for the sake of being repetitive. What else did I want to say before we get into everything? I don't think there was anything, actually. All right, so Laura and Katie had two great topic ideas for the call tonight, so I am going to talk as best as I can about those, and then open it up for anyone to either ask questions or provide any insight that you feel like you want to add. So I'll start with Katie's. She asked a question about what is the recommendation for posting on your Facebook. How many times a day should you post, and then how many of those posts should be Beachbody related, which I think is a fantastic question, because we don't want to be blasting our Facebook pages with only Beachbody stuff, because that is going to turn people away. It's going to make us look salesy. Even if your posts aren't necessarily salesy posts, it's still going to be in your best interest to share other things other than Beachbody stuff, because you want people to get to know who you are. When people, as coaches, we say this all the time, we're not salespeople, we're shares people. So we're sharing the products, but we're also sharing our journey and sharing who we are. So it's very important to kind of, find the right balance for how you want to share your posts. But, you want to be sharing Beachbody products and your journey related to your health and fitness, but kind of relate it more to that, more towards like your workouts and what you're doing for your health versus necessarily always talking about something Beachbody related in each post, if that makes any sense. So the rule of thumb that a lot of coaches recommend is to post at least 3 times a day. The best times a day, it of course varies according to who your audience is and what their work hours are and all that stuff. But usually it's between like 7 and 8 a.m., like 12 and 1 in the afternoon, and then, I don't know, like 7 and 9 p.m. is the general rule of thumb for when people are mostly scrolling through Facebook, because it's before work, during lunch, or after dinner when they're winding down. So it's important to keep the times in mind, and also to pay attention to when you feel like you're getting the most likes and comments on your stuff, because that, again, can kind of vary depending on who's looking at your page, who your audience is, and all that stuff. And then as far as how many of those posts should be Beachbody related, I would say no more than 2 a day, but this is kind of where it depends. Like Ashley just commented in the comments, she said 3 to 6 times seems to be her sweet spot. And you can post more than 3 times. It doesn't have to only be 3 times. But if you're posting that many times, you definitely want to make sure that, you know, the ratio of Beachbody to you is, what do I want to say, more? Like less Beachbody posts, more you is what I mean. The more times you're posting. And ideas for postings could be, you know, sharing a sweaty selfie, like showing people that you're staying accountable to your workouts, like you're doing your workouts so that people can see that you're being consistent, following a plan. And then you can share, like, you know, every day we're doing some personal development. So share a quote that you saw in a book, share a picture of the book and talk about what this book taught you, or share a motivational quote that you found that really resonated with you. You know, the keyword being you, like what is speaking to you personally, because that will help you be able to kind of talk about it better and relate it to not only your life and how that perspective is changing, but also it can help people kind of relate more to you, people who are in similar situations. And then, like, let's say you're reading something and it really like strikes a chord with you. If you share that, that might do the same thing for somebody else. And then they're going to be like, ooh, I like that. I want to watch her page more. Other things you can post about is just your life in general. Like if you have a pet, post about your pet. If you have kids, post about your kids. If you have hobbies, like share that. Share stuff about your job if you're able to and if you want to. You know, you can basically share anything, but you want to just be sharing who you are. And then maybe I've been hearing things like coaches will post once a week, every other week, or once a month about the coaching opportunity. So that kind of depends on your personal preference, how often you want to be sharing about the coaching opportunity. And then same thing for challenge group invites on your personal page. It depends on how often you want to be doing that. You know, you can do that on your public page, but then more of that can be done more privately. So that's kind of a personal preference. And other things that you can post about to kind of keep you even consistent is using weekly and daily themes. So I know some people do like Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Workout Wednesday, like whatever it is that you want, whatever you want to do, that can kind of create consistency in one of your posts per day. But it can also, if you're doing that each week, people almost kind of expect it, and then they're like, oh, what transformation is she going to post today, or what Motivation Monday is she going to share today, type of thing. So people kind of almost know what to expect, and then they want to look for your post. They might even search out your name just to see like, oh, what's she going to post this week, type of thing. But one thing that I will say is when you're sharing a sweaty selfie, or when you're sharing a picture of you drinking your Shakeology or you with the Shakeology, never just share that itself, because you want to add value to it. So like when you're posting a picture about you drinking your shake, like what has the shake done for you? Why has it helped you? What has it changed for you? Like add value to it, educate people on it, add more than just the picture itself, so people kind of like are more interested in reading about it versus just seeing another sweaty selfie or seeing another picture of Shakeology. It just kind of helps people. I feel like that turns people in more being interested in it versus being put off by it, if that makes sense. So definitely adding value to all of your posts in general, but the ones that you are posting about your Beachbody stuff, make sure it has somewhat of a story behind it, or make sure you're sharing something about it more than just the picture itself. And then what else did I want to say before I move on? And I mean, again, I feel like it is personal preference. I mean, you can play around with it. You can see what happens when you do 3 posts a day and 2 of them are Beachbody, 1 of them isn't. You can try 6 times a day and like 2 are Beachbody or 3 are Beachbody and like 3 aren't, whatever. Kind of play around with it, and also play around with what times a day you're doing certain things too. Because again, a lot of it does depend on who your audience is when they're looking at your posts. And I do also see value in kind of being consistent with when you're posting things. Like I remember a call that, I think it was a YouTube video from Melanie Mitro, and she was explaining how she does her social media. And every morning she wakes up and does her workout at 5 a.m. So around like 6:30 probably is when she posts about her workout. And that's like literally every single day she does that. So people know in the morning that they can look for her workout picture and then also get some inspiration from it, because she always adds in some sort of motivational or inspiring message or whatever with that. So that's kind of what she does, and she's consistent about that. Every single morning, no matter what, you'll see that post in the morning. And then I don't really know what she does towards the end of the day, but I kind of like the idea of having kind of a plan like that for when your Beachbody posts are, because then, I don't know, I wonder if it just helps stick with the consistency concept and gets people, wanting to almost look at your page and be like, did she get her workout on today? She probably didn't get her workout on today. And then they see it and they're like, damn it, she did. So anyway, that's just another idea. And one of the videos, so I added a lot of you guys, some of you were already added, but I added a bunch of you guys to the Beachbody Champions page. I don't think I realized that I hadn't done that yet, so sorry about that. But there were some live videos that they were doing today, and they were awesome. One of them was, oh gosh, I can't even remember her name right now. Where did I write it down? Ashley Smith talked about, I shared that in our group page too, but she talked about a lot of, she answered questions basically that people were asking, and some of them had to do with how she shares on social media. And one thing that I loved that she said was I think she's been a coach for like 18 or 19 months, and she's now a full-time coach, which is awesome. But that was like her goal. So again, that's all depends on what your goals are. But she said one thing that she started to do, I think a couple months in, was use her Facebook or her social media as if it were her journal. So, and I kind of liked that how she said it that way, because and this kind of almost leads into Laura's question a little bit, where if you're sharing your life like a journal, like almost like a blog basically, but you're making it public to the world and you're sharing how your life is now, you're sharing what's going on other than Beachbody, you're sharing how your life has changed because of Beachbody, what's different about you, how you've changed, how your family's life has changed. Like when you're sharing these things consistently on your social media, it kind of almost makes it easier to bring this stuff up in conversation with people, whether it's you that's bringing it up, or more often than not, it actually, she said, ends up being other people who may either reach out to you, or when you're talking to them and forming with them, if they're seeing you posting all of these things that have changed in your life, whether it's, whether you relate it back to Beachbody or not, then they may start asking you questions and being like, oh, that was really inspiring. Or like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I feel like I'm in a similar situation to how you were before, but you're like going off on this tangent and your life is changing and it looks awesome. Like, tell me what you're doing or whatever. Like, I feel like if you use it as a journal, your posts become more natural. You can share more of like your vulnerabilities and your like things that you're struggling with. If you share more stuff like that, people are going to relate to you more. If you learn how to share things in a way that almost kind of targets certain people that you're looking for, like your audience. I know it's probably like a whole nother call in itself, that I'm not really the best at voicing how to talk to your audience. But I feel like if you can share situations that you're in and how you've overcome them or how you've changed from things before, I feel like it almost can be more relatable to people, and then it attracts the people that are similar to you, and then they start looking at your posts and they start thinking to themselves, well, that feels like me, and they relate to you more, and they're attracted to you, they want to reach out to you, or when you reach out to them, they're like interested in talking to you more, if that makes any sense. So definitely, I think it's a great idea to start kind of using your social, like, don't be afraid to use your social media like a journal, and just be open and honest with people about your life and where you're going and where you were before, what's changing for you and all that stuff. Because I think it's super valuable. And that, when as coaches, we're here to encourage people and to share our journeys, and not necessarily to always be posting about programs and stuff like that, but to just share how our lives are changing for the better. And then it's almost less salesy when you're doing it that way, because then people are asking you, what are you doing, versus them necessarily knowing exactly what you're doing if you're always, posting Beachbody stuff, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm getting confusing now. Sorry. I think that's all I really had for social media. Before we necessarily move on, hang on, this chat box is blowing up. I can't look at the chat because I'll totally get lost if I do. Oh, Facebook catches on if you post too much? Interesting. But hang on.
Part of their algorithm, if they'll label you a spammer if you post too often and too kind of frequently. They think you're that's why like the Hootsuite stuff and stuff isn't that great, because it's great for once in a while, but if you're doing it all the time and you're posting like 5-6 times a day every day, they'll start to diminish your presence in people's newsfeed.
Oh, see, I remember hearing things like that, but I always thought it was like if you post links or stuff like that. But it's in general, huh?
Yeah, it's all part. It's becoming such a saturated social media that they can't post everybody's. Like, everyone has a Facebook page, so not everyone's post can show up in everyone's newsfeed. So the way they do it is if people are posting too much, or if people they look for certain words, addy words, they look for links, they look for frequent posts, they look for too much at the exact same time every single day. And that's all part of their algorithm. So, if you do post like 6 times a day, one day, maybe do 2 the following, like, keep them guessing. Don't be too regimented. And definitely don't overly post, because that can be detrimental.
That is good to know. Didn't you do some sort of like social media training or something? Am I making that up?
I'm in the Instagram Impact Academy.
That's what it was. Okay.
We're halfway through it now.
Cool.
It's self-paced, and I'm like a turtle going through. I can do like 1 a week right now.
Whatever, that's fine. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's really good to know. And that does make sense because you're right. There's so many people posting. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about social media. And again, I think it's all kind of personal preference. And then, like, honestly, a lot of times my Facebook page ends up just being sweaty selfies because I don't end up having time to post again in the day, and whatever, like, I'll take that over nothing. So it kind of just depends on, your situation. And that's definitely something I need to work on, like sharing more like a journal and sharing more of me in general. But I mean, don't be afraid to post. Like, if you have a second and the only thing you can think of is to post, something Beachbody related, and you're not going to get to post again that day or not for a couple hours, like, I think that's totally fine. It's kind of personal preference, and kind of like Laura said, maybe that's a good thing, switching it up time wise randomly throughout the day. So Laura, well, actually, before I move on, does anyone want to add anything else about any suggestions they have or anything that they heard about ideas for posting and how often to post about Beachbody and all that stuff? I will say, too, that someone once told me, I don't remember who it was, I know a lot of times when we post on Facebook or Instagram, or like other social media sites, I used to do this all the time. Like, I would hashtag the program I was doing, or what the workout was called or whatever. And I noticed mainly my Instagram was getting spam, not spammed, but like random fake accounts, or like gross people, or gross people meaning like, the people who say, like, when you go to their page, it's like, contact me for pictures or something ridiculous. Like, I was getting like all kinds of people liking my photos and following me, and I'd have to block them. And then somebody said in a training that when you post stuff like that, it's like these fake accounts or these like spam accounts are targeting people who post those things. And also to keep in mind, when you're doing hashtags, you kind of want to focus those more on like what a random person who might be sitting there being like, oh, I really want some inspiration today. Like, what would they search for a hashtag to find a picture that's going to inspire them? And they may not know what the 21-day fix is. So they're obviously not going to type in 21-day fix, but they may say motivation, or they may type in inspiration or Fitspo or whatever. Like, sorry, this is a wicked tangent right now, but when you're doing hashtags, try to think of a topic or an idea or a hashtag that someone who is looking for a solution, or someone who's looking for what you're posting, might search for, if that makes sense. Hash brown. Okay, so I think that's it for that. So then Laura's question was suggestions and ideas on how to expand your cold market, which means like your warm market. I'm sure we all know this, but just in case, your warm market are people that you personally know, like friends, family, coworkers, stuff like that. And then cold market people are like, if you're randomly walking down the street and you're wearing an Insanity shirt and someone's like, oh, what's that? Like, that's a cold market person. Or like when you're boosting posts on your like page and some random person comments or likes it, it's basically people that you don't know, you've never met before. But obviously, in order to grow and expand our network, we want to reach out to people we don't know. So a couple ways to expand your cold market. I know in a lot of trainings, they talk about friending like 3 to 5 new people a day. So I don't know about you guys, but when I like forget to do this sometimes, but when I'm scrolling through Facebook, every once in a while, I'll get this little like stream of, what is it? Like friend, requested friends or something like that. It's basically like friends of friends. So that kind of like reminds me like, oh, I need to friend people. So I'll go through that list. and what I usually do is I'll click on their profile and I'll see who their mutual friends are. If any of their mutual friends is a Beachbody coach that I know of, if I don't know who the people are, then I will friend them if they look like someone that relates to me. And a lot of my suggested friends are other nurses, because I have a lot of friends that are nurses. So they, obviously relate to me because I'm a nurse too. But I always make sure that I click on their profile, I see who their mutual friends are, because I never want to step on anyone's toes, and you kind of never really know if they're friends with another Beachbody coach that's a part of, our network. Like if you see a friend and they are a Beachbody coach, I usually just don't friend request that person, just because you never know if behind the scenes they're forming with them, and then, you don't want to, like, God forbid they start talking to you too, because then they see your posts, and then, I don't know, that's just basically how I do it. But that's usually how I friend people, is I look through the suggested friends list, go down the list, find people who aren't mutual friends with any coaches, at least that I know of, find people that I would relate to, obviously, because, if it's someone that, like, I don't know, I can't even think of anything right now, but if it's someone you look at their page and you're like, me and that person would have nothing to talk about, then, you can still friend them if you want to, but I usually don't, because just makes it easier to build a relationship with someone that you can make small talk with. So that's definitely something to be doing, is increasing your friend requests. Another thing that, what's her name again? Sorry. Ashley Smith in that video shared, she said that, I don't know if all of you have like pages. If you don't, that's fine. I would suggest kind of like getting the idea to start one if you don't have it. But for a while, she would just either post the same thing on her personal and like page in the beginning, just to get people familiar with it and to get likes and stuff like that. Or she would post on her like page and then share it on her personal page, again, to kind of build an audience. And once she had a little bit of an audience, she said she started boosting her page, not boosting posts, but boosting her page with a video, like a workout video of her and her son, or a video of her and her husband working out, or like something like that. She would boost her actual page once a month for $1 a day for like 2 to 3 weeks. And that started to generate more likes for her actual page. And then obviously, every day throughout the week, she's posting valuable posts, so that when people see her boosted page, they go to her page, they see the value that she's posting, and then hopefully they like her page. And that's another cold market person. So that's an idea. Another thing that I also got from that call too was getting your challengers really good results. So like really working closely with your challengers, getting them results, because then people may start asking them what they're doing, and then they may be referred to you, or that just kind of opens possibilities of you working with more people, because the people that you're helping get results may start talking to people about it and basically giving you a bunch of referrals. So those are some ideas that I came up with today through like those other calls that I was listening to. But honestly, this is not something that I am particularly good at. I'm good at friend requesting people, but I don't message them right away, which I know some people do. I don't know. I still feel weird about doing that, but that's kind of like, I think, my own issue. But I wanted to kind of open this up to hear if anyone had thoughts on what they think would be helpful for cold market, or if they've found success doing certain things. And I will say real quick too, wear and share. I haven't had good success with wear and share personally, but I wonder if I don't know if I like walk around, like I'm the type of person that when I like go around in stores, like I don't look people in the eye. So I'm probably not very approachable. So that might be something that I should work on. But I do hear people have really good success with wear and share. And what that means basically is, there's like Fit Mama gear. Like I'm working on my logo and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to have at least like tank tops or t-shirts for Summit for anyone that's for all of us. But buying the Beachbody clothing and wearing like a shirt of a program that like, 21 Day Fix or whatever program you've done, stuff like that. It's when you're out doing errands, when you're getting gas, like whatever. And people may ask, like one time I was at the gas station wearing an Insanity thing and someone commented and was like, oh, that program's so hard. And then she like kept walking. I was like, okay, thanks. So that's like pretty much all the success I've had with that. But some people really do get asked questions and get into conversations and exchange info from just simply wearing a shirt or sweatshirt or something that says like, ask me about, or that says like a program on it or something. So that's definitely something to keep in mind too when you're out and about. So that's kind of all I have for that, unfortunately. And well, hang on, I'll ask, does anyone have anything they want to add about that in particular? Don't think so. So I did also want to ask you guys, so I feel like our team calls have been awesome, and each week we end up coming up with a topic that I can at least provide hopefully some insight on, but I'm learning a lot of things just like you guys are, and a lot of the topics or ideas that you guys have for calls is a little bit above me, if I'm being honest. Like I don't want to, I don't always know what to, oh, hi. So I don't always necessarily feel like I have enough information to talk to you about certain things to kind of make it into a call. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts are on me starting to kind of reach out to people who are more experts for certain things and then having guest speakers. I do really like our calls and how we have open discussions. So I would never want to stop doing that completely, obviously. But, if there's ever a topic or something that you guys want, and I don't feel confident enough in presenting it myself, like, are you guys open to me reaching out to somebody and someone who's really good at it and having a guest speaker? Because I don't want to not give you guys what you're interested in just because I can't necessarily talk well about it. And obviously a lot of it is really interesting and I'd like to learn more myself too. So I'm open to the idea, but I just kind of wanted to hear what your thoughts were. It looks like in the chat people think it's a good idea. I'm going to look back. I know there's a bunch of posts where I've asked certain like what people want for topics for team calls. So I'll look back on the page, and if there are certain ones that I find, I might just kind of bring them up and ask you guys, like, do we want to call on this? And if you do, like, if anyone has any suggestions on who they think would be a good guest speaker, or if I think of someone who would be good, I can kind of bring that up and we can start there. But thank you guys. But I still love our calls though, so I wouldn't want to stop doing calls like this because I think this is super valuable too, and I love our time together. So, but just an idea that I was thinking of. Oh, hang on. Ashley raised her hand, but she lowered it. Do you want me to unmute you? This whole hand thing, I think I saw this for the first time. Was it last week or the week before? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoa.
But I wanted to go back to your page thing. When you had talked, did you talk about live video at all?
No, but you're right. I should have said that because that's a great way to at least add.
It has been so helpful. Like before, up until the last couple of weeks, my page view reach had been like maybe 2,000, 2,200, something like that. And then when I started doing like the live videos and throwing in random like workout things, it started to go, like this week it's up to like 9,000. I had it at like 10,000 a couple weeks ago, and
Wow.
it's been super helpful.
Are you talking about your personal page or your like page? Just out of
Like page.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I really don't do a lot of video for my personal page, honestly.
because I was going to ask you, how do you see your reach from your personal page? But then I realized you were probably talking about your like page.
Yeah. No, I am guilty of posting on my like page and then sharing it to my personal. But
It's not
throughout the
being
day,
guilty of, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And then, but throughout the day, I'll throw in like random like animal videos on my personal. Instead, I leave those off the like page because I know people don't want to hear that.
Well, I think that's
But
awesome.
I do.
I know,
Yeah.
I do too. I always like your videos. They're adorable. The pet and your live ones.
They've been, I feel like it was biting. Where's my thing? My earphone fell out. But I feel like it was like biting like a big bullet when I had to do them. And it's been super helpful though.
I know, I've actually been thinking of doing one about the 21 Day Fix promotion,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just such an awesome program. And it basically teaches you how to eat for life.
Right. It's the program I started with, so I feel partial to it. And it's like the only thing I feel like I know inside and out.
Which is a good thing. And like one of the things Chelsea Pearson said on that call, for anyone that didn't hear it yet, was she literally, I mean, she doesn't make them, but she recommends to every single person to start with the 21 Day Fix.
Right.
Unless they have a certain like workout program that their heart is set on, she recommends to everybody to start with the 21 Day Fix, because you're learning how to eat correctly for life.
Mm-hmm.
And the workouts, there's such a good variety. They're only a half an hour, but you can start, there's a modifier. So it's kind of like you're learning basic moves in general, and you're getting not just like cardio and weights, but you're getting yoga and Pilates, which have so many benefits to them. It's just such a well-rounded program that it's just awesome. And I mean, I'm sure most, if not all of you guys are in that like massive fix recipe, like the 21 Day Fix like group that has like thousands of people in it. I think Jean Reed is like one of the admins or whatever. But the things that people post, the before and afters that people share, like this program, I feel like has changed the most lives out of all of them, just because of how simple the eating plan is and how effective that is for getting results. So huge opportunity for this month to promote that and to share that with people and to guide them through it. And another thing she said too is, if you haven't done the 21 Day Fix yet, then that's okay. You can do it with your challengers. Like, ask people to do it with you. And like for me, what I need to man up to is that I've never followed it 100% yet. So I need to promise people. I know it's terrible. I've tried, and that is like literally my biggest downfall, is following nutrition guides. It's ridiculous. I need to get over myself. So I need to man up to that and help people hold me accountable, you know, and you know, help other people get through it too. So anyway, that was kind of a random tangent again. Buffalo chicken. I love buffalo chicken. All right, what do we have in the chat before we end? Katie, I like that wine's an option 3 times a week. That's so true. But you have to give up a yellow for it. Like, can it be like a purple? Wine is grapes, right? Oh, that's a good idea. So Lauren has a great idea for topic. Someone to share how they organize their e-files, scripts, pictures, before and after, and post ideas. I actually was thinking of, so I have, what's it called? Evernote, which I think we talked about this before, and supposedly you can share that. I don't get it. I should maybe just like watch a YouTube video on it, but I feel like I should just open like a Google Doc, like do more Google Docs in the group page itself to kind of share, because I have a couple script ideas that I've picked up through like trainings and stuff. So I can start sharing that in Google Docs on the page, versus telling myself I'm going to learn how to share Evernote and then not doing it. But yeah, that is a great, I have stuff all over the place too. So yeah, that's a good idea. I wish that when you saved these videos that you could get the chat box after. So I'm taking a picture of your idea because I'm not going to remember. All right. And Coach Basics, yes. I'm thinking actually that probably might be starting the same week as that fix group, which is the 13th. And what I'm probably going to do, honestly, is because I think what's been holding myself back from doing that is that I want to like recreate everything. And then every training I've ever done has said, don't reinvent the wheel. So I'm just going to take stuff from the back office and start with that, because I don't know why I feel like I need to redo everything. So, but that will probably happen. I did create like a 7-day, like brand new coach thing. So I might do that the week of the 13th. And then the following week do like a Coach Basics. And then I'm going to look at the back office one and see how long it is, and see if I can maybe condense it a little bit, because I'm pretty sure it's like 30 days. I do have like scripts from the Fit Mama one that's 2 weeks, which was almost too condensed. So I'll kind of like play around with it. But I'm thinking the week of the 13th will be that 7-day, like brand new, like basics. And then after that will be like the, oh my gosh, did you hear that? Something just fell downstairs. Yeah, so that's my plan. Does anyone have any questions or any ideas? A coach sneak peek before the basics. We could try to. I'm trying to think. I'll have to look at my schedule and see if I could pull everything together. Or we could do that at the end of the month. Oh, that's true, Laura. We could use your videos. Yeah, maybe. Would we want to do that towards the beginning or the end of the month? What do you guys think? I mean, it really probably doesn't even matter. You know what? That's a good idea, though, because then we can put them right into the Coach Basics. Maybe we should try to do that next week. I'll look at my schedule and see if I could.
Jackie.
Yeah.
I was thinking of running one at the end of next week.
The end of next week?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the week before then. Okay.
Correct. Like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like the 3-day thing.
Okay. Cool. And then I could even, I think I might be able to help you with that too if we want to like co-host.
Okay. Yeah, because I ran my first one last month, and I made a bunch of videos. I basically took Laura's verbiage and redid them as myself.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So we could use, like, if you did some of your own too, we could use all three, so it's not just one of us.
That's a really good idea. And I should be able to do that too because my schedule looks good. So, all right, let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, let's coordinate.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right. Does anyone have any other suggestions or anything to add? All right. Well, thank you again for joining. This was awesome. And I feel like there's a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but I feel like there are YouTube videos I've seen before that kind of talk about social media and how to share. So I'll I'm gonna kind of search for some of those. Like I feel like Melanie Mitchell has wicked good ones, and a few other coaches that really break down how to share things on your social media. So I'll definitely look for those and share them in the page. And of course, I will share this recording as soon as it's done processing, which can take forever sometimes. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. It was so good to see you all. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the night and week. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.